Channel Walking on Water. In today's episode, we are at my house, and today we are going to talk and discuss, and I'm going to show you how to rig up herring or anchovies in 3 of the best methods for Chinook salmon, and we are going to dial those in today. In the recent video, we have brined up our herring / anchovies, and they've been sitting in the brine, and so we are going to take 3 different methods: bait threaded, cut plug, and helmeted, and we're gonna rig up each one individually for you guys today. So there's a conjoined how-to on setting up herring and anchovies for Chinook salmon. Like, subscribe, and share, please. Stay tuned. Let's get into rigging up these bait fish. All right, guys, so number one of my favorite ways to run a herring or anchovy is a helmeted herring setup. You can go to my YouTube channel, Walking on Water. Obviously, you're already watching this video if you are, and you can watch how to set up a helmeted herring. As well, for this, you're gonna need how to tie up a non-slip mooching rig, which is also on my channel. Very informative, and it will get you into this setup and how to set it up perfectly, so go watch those. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Hey, leave a comment if I'm doing something. Let me know how I'm doing. I really do appreciate the support, you guys. We're going slow, but we are growing. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the number one way for me to rig up these herring, very simple. After you have your helmet and your non-slip mooching rig set up, simply slide the herring into its helmet. Grab your pin for the herring, find the big hole that's right here in front of the eye. Slide the pin through, okay? Find the hole with the string coming out of it on the other side of the eye, just like so, okay? Now you have your helmeted herring, and the pin is through the eye, so it's holding it in place, okay? Now, we're gonna grab our first trail hook, the top of the 2 hooks, okay? And we're gonna go right in the middle of the dorsal fin, just like so. Turn it sideways, give it a little pull, give it a little angle like that. This is a perfect helmeted herring, you guys. There's a little arch, a little bend in the herring itself, which will cause a nice slow roll in the water, because you don't want a super tight roll with these helmeted herring. It's a full bait fish. This is not a cut plug herring, so it's gonna roll a little bit different. You do want a nice, slow, consistent roll. And I like to run my trail hook, since it is a nice tight roll. It's not a big wide roll, so it's not gonna send this hook, you know, flipping out and around in a big wide circle. It's a nice slow roll, so it's gonna keep that hook right next to its tail fin back here. And so when you do come up and it short strikes, it will be hanging back there, so you can get linked up more times than not. So this is one of the best ways to set up a herring, in my opinion, but this is just step number 1 out of 3 different very viable options. So let's get into option number 2. All right, guys, so number 2 on the 3 best ways to rig up herring is 100% going to be the cut plug herring. Now, you can definitely cut these by hand if you want to, but I like to buy the guide that does say Chinook over here and coho over here. It just provides a different angle, a tighter spin for each fish preferences. And so it just makes my job a lot easier when I'm on the water, or if I'm cutting these up and brining them up prior to getting on the water, just so I have the same consistent cut, which is providing the same consistent roll for these fish. So what you're gonna need is just a sharp knife. So I'm gonna grab this Rapala fillet knife that I have here. I'm gonna throw this in there like that so you can see it a little bit, okay? The gill plate, I want the gill plate right in front of that angle for the cut. Then I'm just gonna slide my knife in like so. Okay, And I'm gonna go back and forth so it makes a nice, clean cut. Okay? We got that nice, clean cut, just like that. Go ahead and pull that off. See how the head and the body is now cut at an angle, okay? Do this, go ahead and put this down there. Kind of helps just to get the guts out just a little bit, just so when they're in the water, they pull out nice just like that. Okay, now, again, with the non-slip mooching rig, again, walking on water, how to tie up a non-slip mooching rig, and that video will get you into this setup so you can tie it up for these cut plug herring. Okay, now let's move this stuff back out of the way a little bit. Okay, excuse the fish guts right here, no big deal. Okay, we're gonna see the cut plug herring right here? The long side is called the tall side, and the short side is the bottom of the angle. So the tall side is the longest part of this herring, and we're gonna take that trail hook and we're gonna hook it through right here, and we're gonna slowly, nice and slowly, without ripping the bait to pieces, work that through just like so, okay? Then we're gonna flip this over, okay? We're gonna find the spine right here in the middle, and we're gonna go from tall side to short side, and this hook placement is gonna set our roll in the water, okay? So just like so, through the tall side, through the spine, as well as through the short side, so at an angle. See here, see how it's down at an angle? Okay? That's gonna set your roll for this fish in the water, okay? Now, we have a non-slip mooching rig through a cut plug herring for Chinook salmon. See how this trail hook is perfectly down at the tail fin, just like so? We are set up perfectly to get this thing in the water. It's gonna have a nice tight roll in the water for Chinook salmon. Excuse the leaf blower outside. So, number 2 best way to rig up for Chinook salmon or coho salmon is the cut plug herring, okay? One more thing, you guys. Make sure when you're placing this top hook, you're going from the tall side, the longest part of the herring of the meat that's left, through the spine, out through the short side. It's the number one thing that you need to know. Even if you don't put that hook through the skin to begin with and it's just dangling back there, to get your roll right in the water, you have to have that hook through the tall side, through the short side, but also through the spine. So, again, non-slip mooching rig, cut plug herring, number 2 best way to rig up herring or anchovies for Chinook salmon, coho salmon, or any kind of salmon. Now, let's get into number 3. Stay freaking tuned, you guys. Like, subscribe, and share. Number 3 best way to set up a herring or anchovy for any type of salmon is one of my personal favorites. I fished with this when I was a kid all the time down on the Main Umpqua River in Oregon, as well as the Rogue River and even some places on the Columbia. I know they fish these in bays and oceans, but this is a Rogue River setup with a sliding mooching rig. If you would like to learn how to tie up this sliding mooching rig, obviously you are on Walking on Water right now. Go over to my channel, check it out. It's called How to Tie a Non-Slip Mooching Rig. A sliding mooching rig. I also have one on how to tie up a non-slip mooching rig. Please like, subscribe, and share that video. It really helps me out. I appreciate it, guys. And yep, that will explain exactly how to tie up this setup. I call this setup, actually, and down in Oregon, they sell this setup as a Rogue River setup. It's 5 3mm beads with a 3.5 Salmon spinner with an inline spinner clevis up top. And at the bottom, it is a sliding mooching rig. And by sliding, I mean the hook slides up and down the line, just like so. And you will soon find out why that is necessary. So let's get into rigging up this herring, okay? So first of all, after the sliding mooching rig, you're gonna need a bait threader, okay? This is a bait threaded sliding mooching rig herring for Chinook salmon or any type of salmon, okay? So you're gonna slide your line through the eyelet of the bait threader just like so, okay? Now, you're gonna take the herring, excuse me, You're gonna take this herring, you're gonna open its mouth, just like so, okay? You're gonna run the bait threader down through its mouth, okay? And I like to go right behind the dorsal fin, up a little bit higher, and come out the side, just like so, okay? Then, you're gonna pull your line nice and slow, pinching the herring as you work it down, okay? Nice and slow. You don't wanna tear this herring to pieces, okay? And you want a good exit wound, okay? Just like that. There it is, okay? Now, we've got our line back out of this herring, okay? Get that back out. At the bottom, for your base hook, I always just tie a standard square knot, which allows me to have a loop, okay? So I have a loop at the bottom. I can loop it right back through my hook, okay? So then I take my base hook, I take my very end trail hook, just like this, or the base hook, whatever you want to call it, okay? These are little 2/0, so the eyes are pretty small, but we're gonna get this done, okay? So you pinch that together, okay? Pinch that together and push it through your hook just like that, okay? So you got your loop through the eye of your hook, okay? Obviously, spread open the loop, pull it down and around your hook, and then just pull it tight. So it's 100% snug and looped through there. Now, this is where the sliding portion of this setup comes into play. I know we're working this herring upside down. I hope it's not confusing anybody. It just makes it a little bit easier. So we're gonna pinch the exit wound like so as we pull that knot back through, and then we're gonna slide the eye of the hook right back in there just like so, okay? Just like so. Then, we're gonna take the sliding part of this rig and we're gonna slide it straight down back to the face of this herring, okay? We're gonna go right in between the bottom of its jaw. There's a soft spot. 2 hard plates on the outside of its jaw. You're gonna go right in the middle of that soft spot, okay? Just like so. And your goal is to bring it straight out through the middle of its skull, just like that, okay? Perfect. Then, the sliding part of this is actually gonna give it its roll, okay? So, you slide it down until it's tight, and as you can see, we have a sliding mooching rig herring that was bait threaded, and we have that nice arc. We have that nice arc in the back of this bait fish that's gonna provide that slow roll. And the amazing thing about these Rogue River setups is this is rolling in the water like so, and this flasher is flashing, giving it that appearance of a wounded bait fish or a bigger fish trying to eat this wounded bait fish. So that signifies biologically that it's feeding time, excuse me. Okay, now another thing that you wanna do with this method that I did not include in this video today, which I'm going to right now actually, see how the mouth of this bait fish is open from that hook? It's always good to have little rubber bands with you so you can rubber band this guy's mouth closed, because it will tear this herring apart in the water as you're trolling or if you're in any kind of current. So rubber banding the mouth helps keep that top hook in place, as well as keeping the bait in the water longer. And this is an extremely amazing way to get out there and destroy Chinook, any kind of salmon. You can apply this method to prawns for steelhead, sockeye, coho, absolutely any kind of sport fish you can really imagine you could throw this at, and I really do truly feel like it would execute the mission that you guys are seeking. So thank you guys freaking so much. This is the number 3, the best ways to rig up herring or anchovy. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Walking on Water. It was amazing to bring you guys the 3 best ways to rig up any type of bait fish. And honestly, you guys, these ways are no joke. These ways will 100% get you on the fish. People have been using them for years. I was happy to bring you this video. Please like, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate the support. Stay tuned for the next one. Get out there, bonk some big fish. Leave some comments down below if you've caught a fish on this method or you're fishing this method. And throw me some comments on how big a fish you've caught with them. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one.